All right. We have people still loading into our call. So everybody get ready, get comfortable, grab your coffees, grab your whatever it is, your Diet Cokes, whatever keeps you focused and attentive to everything. But we've got a great topic today. We have Jeff Mays with us, who we love having. We have him on a couple times a year, and all of his content is always incredible. Everybody always gives us amazing feedback of everything that Jeff goes through that really helps them change their business. And I think ultimately the biggest keys are utilize the things that you're learning, right? Don't get excited and have it be the thing that you do right now and then let it fade away. Ultimately, anything that you guys learn from us, and when we have these coaches on, especially somebody like Jeff, it is use these and implement them as part of your business and continue using them. Especially today's topic. So we're going to be talking about mastering buyer and listing consultations with AI enhanced strategies. And Jeff and I were just talking about this, but if you are not using AI, you are going to fall behind. Your business is going to hurt, and other people are going to step on top of you that are using AI. So this is a huge topic of conversation. And so these are great ways to help you guys enhance your business. This call is recorded. We have chat live. I'll be monitoring that. But Jeff, without further ado, I hand you the microphone.
Deanna, thank you so much. I love coming on this call. I love everybody here. I love your feedback for everybody. Hey, let me ask you this. How are you using AI in your world, in your business right now? Put that in the chat. Like, how are you using AI right now? And what are you doing? Let's get some comments going. Because today I want to coach everybody. I want to make sure I answer all your questions as well. So how are you using AI in your business right now? Most agents say, can you see the chat?
Yep. We've got some marketing. We have comps. Sally is not using it yet. So Sally, this is definitely the webinar for you.
All right, Sally, we're going to get you straight. It'll be fun. So I want to start off, think about this. AI or ChatGPT or Grok or Perplexity, whatever you're using, just thinking of it as almost like Google on steroids times 10,000 with no ads, right? Like, I don't know about everybody on the call, but I go there first now. I look for all my answers there. So in a world that we're moving into where all the answers are there for us, how can we capitalize on that? So I'm going to share with everybody today, I coach some of the best clients out there in the Tom Ferry ecosystem, and we're going to talk about how they're really using AI in their business. We're going to talk about creating some objection handlers. We're going to talk about building our confidence. We're going to talk about the buyer and the listing presentation. And we're also going to talk about converting these into closings, because at the end of the day, that's the name of the game. So can I coach you today? I want a thumbs up if everybody wants me to coach you today, because I'm going to go through a lot of great points, a lot of great things. And I love it. I'm already seeing that. So there's our fearless leader, Tom Ferry. Anybody, please follow me on Instagram at JeffMays_RE. I make it a commitment to only put out killer content around real estate. Tom is always about give. I'm all about giving. I'm sharing a lot of ideas out there. So if you could and start to follow me on Instagram, you'll get a lot of great information as well out there. So as I mentioned, these are objections today, but these are our outcomes today, excuse me. But I coach 70 top clients of Tom's. Half of them are, they're making $500,000 in GCI income. They're doing on average 42 deals a year, and they go on 120 appointments in a year. Hey, Deanna, let me ask you this. Do you know what the average agent does in a year?
I do not know.
I think it's 2 or 3 deals a year. So the clients that these ideas and the clients that I work with are some of the best of the best. So I'm going to get right into a few things. So let me ask you this. How's everybody's mindset right now? How have we been the past couple months? Give me some feedback. What's our thought? Are you excited? Are you fearful? Are you nervous? Are you rolling? What are you seeing in there, Deanna?
There's a lot, nothing posting yet, but I know there's a delay in the chat that comes through. But I know a lot of people that we hear about, they're nervous about what's going on. They see everything in the media, they see things in the news, social medias. But yeah, so people are keep going. Some people are feeling a little bit defeated, discouraged, frustrated.
Okay. So we're going to talk about how to turn that around. There are two types of agents right now. There are agents that are having their best year ever, and then there's some agents that are a little frustrated. Like we're somewhat moving into a different market in most areas of the country right now. So to me, what really matters is our mindset right now. Okay. I've always felt like, as after 30 some years in the business, we've always got to be optimistic and positive, and we can't take on the feelings, the concerns, the fears of our clients, because when we do that, nothing really happens. Like we're just listening to them and we're not moving the needle. So we're going to go through some ideas that'll move the needle today. So the key right now is your mindset. So what else we got there? So let me ask you this. Let's see some responses from this. What is stopping us right now? Is it our clients saying they want to hold off? Or are you not following your schedule? What is your distraction in your life right now? Let's see some comments around that.
Yeah, especially for those people that are saying we're working really hard but not seeing the results. So a lot of people are saying people are still holding off. People are feeling distracted by things. There's reluctance due to the no structure. Clients are not wanting to sign listing agreements.
Love it. We're going to go through all those hesitations. Like, to me, I don't look at it like objections. It's just hesitations. Sometimes we're a sounding board for our clients to some degree. So we're going to talk about some AI created dialogue that's going to help move the needle out there. But I wanted to go through this slide right now. This is an interesting slide that I saw just the other day, Deanna. It's year over year housing inventory, April of this year compared to April of last year. And you can see, you're starting to see some areas that they're doubling in inventory. But then there's also, you look at New York and New Jersey and Pennsylvania and some other areas, it's an interesting market right now. It's still a seller's market in some areas. And then we know in certain areas that it's already turned to a buyer's market. So to me, this reminds me of like 08 to 2010, but it's nowhere near it was like then. All we really got to do, I know the frustration when we're doing what we did a couple months ago or a couple years ago, and we're getting less results. Sometimes you feel like a failure. But you know what I realized, and this is going to be a simple solution to a lot of it, we got to double what we're doing. We got to have more opportunities. So to me, if you did one open house and that got you every month or every week or whatever that looked like, you may need to double that to get the same results. So to me, one thought is double your whether that's phone calls, mailers, marketing, whatever that looks like. We just need to do more to get the same results, and you will be fine. But everybody's going to get my slides here. It's just interesting to look at what else the rest of the country is feeling. Most markets, the inventory is increasing. We know that the days on the market is increasing as well, but houses are still selling. Sales haven't gone down. So that just says we need to focus some of our attention on maybe pricing things correctly, having different conversations with both our buyers and sellers out there right now. So also, I hear agents say, their clients are saying, I'm waiting for the crash. I got to be honest. I've been in real estate over 30 years. I've never been in a market crash. To me, it goes down a little bit, but then it always comes back. But look at this. This is a slide that shows the delinquency rates on first lien mortgages. It's at 3.2%. And in 08 to 2010, it was like 9, 10, 11%. We are nowhere near that. So again, in uncertain times, when people are uncertain or fearful, they need certainty. And so how do you gain certainty? You talk about the stats, the facts, and the numbers. Okay. We know that there's never been so much equity right now in homeowners in the United States. So we got a massive amount of equity. We've got delinquency rates, which are next to none. We're nowhere near a crash to some degree. And you know, the past couple of months, everybody's been talking about tariffs and the stock market and their 401k. If you've noticed, it's almost come back to where it was. I think we're 6 to 7% off of where it was just 3 months ago. So hey, there is positivity. There is good things happening out there. We just got to make sure we're saying the right things. So to me, what really matters, and especially if you're what I call the agent that got in real estate after COVID, the COVID agents, we need to check our mindset. We need to make sure that we're positive and upbeat. We need to really look at our work ethic. I think that we got to get back to quote unquote, Deanna, you've heard it a million times, the basics of having a schedule, the basics. Hey guys, I'm talking about running it like a business. That's what we got to start doing, is running it like a business. And we've also, got to look at the messaging. I think in a shifting, changing market, all that ever changes is what we say. We don't make the market, but we've got to adjust what we're saying right now to buyers and sellers. And we're going to go through some dialogues that's going to help you right now. But I really want to touch on something real quick. Communication has changed in this digital world. We all know that. Do you realize that the average person is on their phone 4 hours a day? But Deanna, 2.5 hours of that is on social media. That is insane.
It's insane.
So guess what? Everybody's just scrolling. So we're going to talk about some ways that we can adjust around how communication has changed. Look, communication has changed because there's more messaging apps. You got Instagram, you got Facebook, you got LinkedIn, you got WhatsApp, you got all these different messaging apps. I have found, hey, Deanna, let me ask you this. What do you think gets read and replied to faster, a DM or a text message?
Ooh, that's a good question.
A text message or a DM, which gets read and replied to quicker?
I would, if you're saying that most people are on social media, I would say a DM.
It is DMs.
Yeah.
Think about, now people say, oh no, I replied on my text. How many text messages do we have? Like, we're going to get to that in a little bit, or I'm not ready to reply to that quite now. But DMs, they get notified. It's probably somebody that you know. So it gets read and replied to, I think it's 90 seconds, wow, which is insane. So we're going to talk about how we can improve on that as well. I did a panel recently of newer agents, I think it was 2 years or less in the business. And you know what, Dan, what they're doing is they are DMing people. When they get a lead, they follow them on Instagram, they friend them on Facebook, and they DM them, and they start it there. How unique, how different, okay? So I think those agents, I think they were doing 24 and 36 deals in their first year, and they're making their calls now is DMing people on Instagram and Facebook and TikTok and all the different platforms that are out there. That's kind of crazy to think about it, but they're generating business by doing that. We know, does everybody know that on Instagram, they recently added some channels, and you can create a channel specifically for seller leads, for investors, for buyers. You can create your own channel, which is target marketing the message to them. It's insane. Take a look at the channels on Instagram. It's an opportunity for you to really target those clients that you're working with. We know video communication has changed with Zoom and Google Meet and all that. So again, communication has changed. AI, Instagram, chatbots, there are all these different kinds of things out there. But we're still like, I need to make my calls, right? Well, it's no more, I need to make my calls. I need to do my touches, whether that is phone calling someone, texting them, sending them an email, a DM. It's changed. So we've got to make sure we're just not making our calls, because watch this. This is pretty interesting. 70% of calls are ignored when the caller isn't recognized. Deanna, you're not going to pick up your phone. If you're like me, I'll get to it when I get to it. But most people will not pick up the phone when they don't know the number.
No way. I never pick up my phone. I wait to see when they're leaving a voicemail. And if it's not anything I'm interested in, I'm deleting the voicemail.
That's it. That's it. Because of all the robocalls that are out there. But watch this. This is interesting. 90% of calls are answered when the caller is saved in their contacts or there's a connection to them. And I'm going to show you something that's kind of crazy too. The average person gets 170 to 185 robocalls a year. There's 52 billion of them happening out there. Plus, the average person gets 75 to 100 texts a day. So we got to recognize we're fighting for their attention to some degree because there's all kinds of different platforms that are reaching out to them as well. So watch this. This is $1 million idea. I'm going to give you a lot of $1 million ideas today. If you're following up with a lead, maybe a sold.com lead, and you haven't connected with them, you should do this. This is a great idea. Send them a text first. Hey, Kate, this is Jeff Mays with ABC Real Estate. You inquired about looking at your options around your property. Do you have a minute to talk? I'll call to discuss. Thanks. And then you know what? They immediately call them. So Deanna, you've probably seen this. You know what happens? It comes up and it says, maybe Jeff Mays at ABC Real Estate. So it says to that person on the other end, I might know this person. Yep. Or I maybe have been texting or talking to them. You got, by just doing this, you got a 50% better shot that they're going to pick up when you send this text before you make the call. That's a good idea, isn't it?
Yeah, that's a game changer that everybody should be doing by simply just sending them, number one, a heads up, but by essentially getting your phone or name in their phone.
In their phone. That's it. So you're going to send the text, then you're going to follow up immediately with a phone call, and you got a better chance of them picking up. I would think that that'd be great with leads that we're giving them, right?
Yep.
Great idea right there. All right, watch this. 15 to 20% of real estate deals right now are falling apart because of miscommunication. And the best thing about AI and everything, it's teaching you what to say. We've got to give up. Look, I got to be honest. I'm not that good. But now what? I'm really good with AI. So if you lean into AI, if you throw in some text messages and say, how should I reply to this? Or I've got a really important call coming up. How should I say this? Look, Tom said this recently. He said, when it comes to AI, all you ever have to be is curious. You don't have to be an expert. Actually, like, think about it. Everybody's talking about AI. We're just talking about did we ever do webinars around how to search Google? No, we didn't. It's just be curious. Keep asking it questions. Like, the idea is we have all this at our fingertips now, where all the answers are there. So here's a great text to send out. Maybe it's someone you haven't connected with. Maybe it's someone that ghosted you. Hey, Kate, you recently contacted us regarding purchasing a property. Where did you decide to buy? Or where did you end up selling? Like catering it either to a buyer or seller. They're going to reply to this message because it's not a yes/no question. It's something that you're going to almost have to defend themselves. And we're seeing it with our clients over and over again. They're replying like, oh, I haven't bought anything, or we decided to put things on hold. They started to re-engage with them, and that's all we ever want for these leads, okay? So let's see this, because we know we get paid to blah, blah, blah. And the better we are at blah, 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 and the better we are, and the better chances we are making sales and taking listings and connecting with our clients. So watch this real quick. I want to show you. These are some of my clients. And we created an AI, a tracking form, and it tracks their appointments. It tracks the appointments they went on, the contracts, the closings, the text messages, and on a weekly basis, they're just tracking their numbers. So let me ask everybody on this call, how are you tracking your numbers? How are you looking at your numbers? Hey, Deanne, why do you think the average agent shies away from tracking their numbers?
I would guess because they're not doing it.
They probably don't like the results. They probably are not doing it. We don't like putting in zeros. We don't like to look at it's right there. The numbers don't lie. Numbers are the language of business. You had said something earlier before we got started that the sold.com leads, 10%, they end up listing. Like, that is amazing. Talk about that for 1 second, Deanne. 10% end up listing their home.
Yeah. So of the leads that we give to the agents, 10% of those people that are sitting in your queue today are going to go list their property. And the statement I made to you was, it's a matter now if it's with you or with somebody else.
That is insane to think about, that 1 in 10 are going to do something. So
Yeah.
if you knew that, you said something earlier that was right on. You said you got to have the right mindset when following up with these leads. Could you explain for just 1 minute with everybody about that?
Yeah. And I think it's generally online leads as a whole, it's having the right mindset. It's not instant gratification. Unfortunately, we live in an instant gratification world. And so when we get anything, we want to see the results right away. But if you can go into buying leads, whether it be from sold.com or any other company, and know that one out of like that 10% are going to do something with that 90%,
that's huge,
are not going to be ready right now, you will be so much more successful because you will just have your expectations shifted.
But Deanne, you said something right now. That means those 90 of those other 90, they're still legit. They're still valid. They're still going to do something. They're just not ready right now, right?
Yep.
And I think the average agent is expecting 100 leads and they're going to make 100 sales, or one call will equal a sale. Like, come on. Like, yeah, they're still viable. So to me, it's all about the follow-up. But again, back to my clients, like, this is Mike, and this isn't 6 sales in a month. This is 6 sales in a week. So my clients, these are their success in a week from tracking and measuring their numbers. It's been insane because they're running it like a business to some degree. So let's get right into this. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Great idea. What they are doing is exactly this. Here's the idea. 5 new contacts. This is new people, new leads, new sold.com leads, people that are in your networking, reaching out to people, your sphere. And then the 4 is 4 follow up with 4 people that are already in your database. Then 3 is 3 handwritten notes or 3 Popeyes. The 2 is 2 social media interactions by DMing, like we just mentioned, or 2 value-driven content posts out on social media, and they're focusing on a minimum of 1 appointment a day. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. That's what you need to do every day. The key is they're tracking their calls. They're ending every conversation. Here's a $1 million idea as well. End every conversation with the next step. I see too many agents. They make a connection with somebody and they're like, I'll follow up with you or I'll send you something, and they don't leave the next step. The next step is, let's hop on a Zoom call. The next step is, let's meet. The next step is, let's go out there and take a look at houses. Whatever that is, always be moving the needle. You also should have a hot board of your top 10 leads, where your next 10 deals coming from. Okay. So again, I like to believe that the leads get better when you get better. Okay. With this 10%, all we can ever do is adjust what we say and do. So I'm going to give you some great ideas through AI. I'm going to show you one of my teams that I coach. Deanne, we went on AI. We handled an objection. It's specifically an objection around sellers when they're reaching out, like they want to consider either getting their home sold quickly or listing their home. They've got a bunch of different options. So they switched one word and they doubled their appointments. This is insane. There's 32 agents on this team. It's Carolyn Young's team in Northern Virginia. She tracks and measures her numbers. On average, in the month of February, I think they went on roughly 224 appointments. And in the month of March, they doubled the amount of appointments they went on by just a simple language switch. Instead of saying talking, selling, buying, like when you say, hey, let's get together and let's talk about putting your house on the market. Let's talk about buying a house. Let's talk about selling your house. It triggers pressure. It creates resistance. It builds emotional walls that pushes them back. It also feels like the start of a sales pitch. And clients, they'll associate that with being pushy. So we got to stop saying selling, buying, listing, and change it to hey, Deanna, let's talk about your options. Let's talk about your choices. And what happens when you do that? It invites conversations, not a commitment. It feels like a strategy session, not a sales pitch. It's low pressure, but high value. And it makes people curious and comfortable. So I'll give you an example of this. Hey, Deanne, role play with me for a second. Let's say you're a seller and you're a little hesitant about meeting. You know, with everything going on in the market right now, it can be hard to know what your best move is. Let's talk through your options so we can make an informed decision. Does Thursday or Saturday at 5 o'clock work for you?
I'm a little bit nervous. I'm a little busy right now.
I totally understand. I totally understand how you feel. There's a lot of noise and conflicting information out there right now. Are you feeling that?
Definitely.
Yeah, many of my clients have felt the same way, unsure of what move to make, or even if now is the right time to move. But what they found after sitting down with me and walking through their specific options and choices, it really cut through the chaos. Let's do the same for you. Again, does Thursday or Friday work at 5?
Yeah, we can do a Saturday.
Okay. Now watch this. Here's another one. Hey, I know the market can feel uncomfortable. So watch this, everybody. Guess where we got this language? Where do you think we got the language?
ChatGPT.
ChatGPT. It gave us 3 options. It gave us feel, felt, found option. It gave us something around options and choices. And then the last one, I totally understand how you feel. Oops, we just did that one. Hey, I know the market can feel overwhelming right now, Deanna. Instead of diving straight into selling, how about we explore your choices together? So give me what's it say right there?
Well, we're just starting out and I'm really not ready yet. It's just not the right time.
Totally understand. We can look at different choices, whether that means staying in your current home, finding a new home, or renting somewhere else, or selling this property. My goal is to help you see all your options so you can make the best decision for you. Does that make sense?
Yeah, this is great. What I love about both of these these responses is one thing that gets missed, I think, is number one, asking for the business doesn't necessarily mean to be asking to sell your home. It could be what's your agenda in this moment, which is
That's right.
setting the appointment. So don't think that people you have to hold their hand, but you have to actually ask them for the
That's right.
appointment. But 2 is on the last one, I gave the consumer gave the objection. You responded to my objection. You acknowledged my objection, but then you went back right to where you left off with me. I think sometimes a lot of people don't do that. You asked originally for the appointment. I said no in some fashion. Respond to me, have empathy for what I said.
That's right.
But as you end that conversation, go right back to where you left off. I think a lot of people don't do that. They get stuck in well, they're not ready yet, and they don't go and ask.
So it's almost like a stop sign. They stop and then, okay, I'll call you back in a couple months.
Exactly. They got too stuck by that. They got too hung up of they don't want to do it. Ask them again. Ask them, like, I just know internally for myself, we've always been taught, ask for the business 3 different times.
That's right. So you brought up a couple things that really came to mind too, is like, they're feeling like, if I meet with this agent, I'm going to sign the listing agreement. My home's not ready to go. I'm not ready to put my house on the market. We don't even know. There's all these questions. So we've got to get away from, let's get together and talk about selling your home. Let's just have a conversation. Let's just talk about your choices and options. But again, double the amount of appointments they went on by just shifting that language from selling, listing, to choices and options. That can be a game changer. It all came about through running this through AI with that team. Okay. So again, why it works, it creates exploration. It's a softer selling approach. It sparks curiosity and it creates more engagement at the end of the day. It's when you talk about selling, listing, it's really talking, it feels aggressive, high pressure. It's easy to say no to. I think we all get that. But what it does is it gives them choices and no pressure. And it opens the door for real conversation, like you just said there, Deanna. You can't give up on the first no to some degree, right? There's a great Harvard Business Review survey of customers right now, and I'll read it. In a world where consumers are inundated with so much information and options, they no longer want to be sold to. Think about that. They want to be educated, empowered, and involved in the process. Modern consumers value collaboration over persuasion. So we've got to come from a place of collaborating with our clients. And the way you do that is changing the language patterns that we've been seeing too often, too many times. We got to change what we're doing. See, I truly think in a shifting, changing market, we just got to change what we're doing and how we're saying it to some degree to pattern what's really going on in the market. Okay. Here's another. I'm sure a lot of people are, hey, there's uncertainty in the market. They don't want to buy. They're scared about the economy. Hey, Deanne, let me ask you something. Do you remember 2020 during COVID?
Yes.
What happened to the stock market? Do you remember?
Yep. It went down.
It went down. It tanked. It dropped big time. And then a few months later, then what happened? What happened to the stock market? Came back up, just like it did the other day. And so then what started to happen to real estate after that?
Yeah, people got freaked out in the beginning, and then houses skyrocketed.
People started buying houses, values went up. Smart buyers pay attention to patterns. Wise sellers pay attention to patterns. Hey, Deanna, let's get ahead of this together and talk about your options. That line right now is working for my clients. Well, I went through this with one of my clients last week. She said this week she set 6 appointments from changing this language pattern. She was saying the wrong things at the wrong moment. So that's the key right now. All right, watch this. AI will not replace you, but the agent that uses AI will. What a great statement. We've got to embrace it. So I'm going to show you how my clients are using AI, especially on listing presentations and working with buyers. So the other day, Dan, I've got a great client, Corey Robinson. He's up in Silicon Valley, and he was like, man, it's been a kind of a tough year. He was kind of feeling like everybody is feeling, like it wasn't happening the way he had projected it or thought about it. And while he was talking, I just said, it's probably hard to see, but I said, give me sales year over year compared month over month in Marin County, where he's from. And it says that sales are actually up. I think it says 22% in the first quarter. So his feelings were this, but the data shows something different. And so I asked him, I said, now how do you feel? Do you think it's the market, or maybe do you think it's your perception of the market? He goes, it's the perception of the market. I think at that moment I changed his opinion, because does everybody realize all this information is out there? So on this call, I was again on ChatGPT, and you can see there's a hyperlink to all these stats. I clicked the hyperlink, and this came up, a great blog post from an area Coldwell banker, and it shows the numbers. It shows their feelings about the market. So it was even a little bit better than we thought. So here's what we did. We were doing this together. We copied this information, threw it in ChatGPT, and I said, what did I say? I said, create a blog post based on this information. Does everybody realize that the new game is back to what used to be done? It's all about blogging. If you want to get recognized, if you want to get noticed on ChatGPT and Revy and all these different things, it is all about blog posting. So in a second, we said, create a blog post. He's got that. He copied that. Now he can post that on his Google business page. He can post that on his website. He can create a page for that. It's all about blogging. So then I said, create a script around this. The best thing about ChatGPT now, I don't even have, the prompts don't even really matter. Like, do you realize if you put enough information, it recognizes that I'm in real estate, that I'm a speaker, that I'm a trainer. So all the replies are based on that to some degree. So I don't have to keep putting in from a real estate agent's point of view. So I just said, create a script around this, and boom, within seconds, there's a script off of that information. Then the next thing that I said is, what did I say? Create a newsletter around this within seconds. So he's got a script, he's got a newsletter, and he's got a blog post within seconds. All right. Then I said, create a text message to sellers around this. Hey, Deanna, it's Corey Robinson. Just a quick update. Marin County home sales jumped 22% in Q1 compared to last year. Buyer activity is strong, especially in places like Kentfield and Luxspur, where homes are selling fast. If you're curious what your home might be worth in this market, I'd be happy to run a quick update for you. Want me to send it over? We made a commitment to send this text message out to 10 people from that data right then. So we got a text message to sellers, a newsletter, a blog post, and a script for a video. I mean, what else do we need?
Yeah, it's incredible.
Hey, Deanna, could we have done that a couple of years ago? That quick?
No, not that quick.
That quick or that good?
Yeah.
So this is already leading to opportunities for Corey in just a matter of a couple of days by taking these ideas and putting them out there. That's insane. That's crazy. See, in uncertain times, I think I said this, people want certainty. It's all around the numbers and the stats and the facts to bring that certainty. So I have another client in Manhattan Beach, and this is really interesting. I was like, what are Q1 sales in Manhattan Beach? Look, the prompt is next to nothing. I can even misspell words in there. It'll still come up right. And it says that sales have surged 19% over Q1. That's insane. Okay. So then I said, create a social media post for Instagram or Facebook around this. She copied that information. Then I said, create a graph around these stats. Okay. So she posted the graph and posted the blog post. And then she's now ready to shoot a video with this in the background. Like, this took 1 minute. So what are we afraid of? What are we scared of? Like, it's just, when you recognize that every answer is out there. Guys, mark my word. I truly think, because you realize that these big companies, the Zillows, the Redfins, they're getting all our data from MLS and they're throwing in ChatGPT. I can remember 6 months ago, we were telling people, hey, go in your MLS, download a CVS file of the market, and then upload it to ChatGPT, and then answer a bunch of questions. You don't even need to do that anymore. It's there. It is there. It's insane. So I think the value of the MLS will go down here very shortly with so much information out there. Now watch this. You may be going, oh, that's crazy. Hey, your buyers and sellers are doing this. Think about that. Your buyers and sellers are doing this. Anybody can do this. So watch this. I said there was a particular property that they had on the market. I said, this is crazy. Do a CMA around this property. And guess what it did? It gave me just as much information. So again, your competition can do this. Your sellers can do this. Your buyers can do this. So active comparable listings, it's all right there. And then I said, this was a property that was on the market. I said the seller's highly motivated, wants to sell in the next 2 weeks. What should I price it at? It's giving me how to price things. So what I'm starting to see top agents are doing is they're doing their normal presentation, Deanne, but they're bringing in ChatGPT saying, and by the way, this is what they're saying. What do you think about that, Deanna?
It's incredible, because so many areas where we get stopped as salespeople is, I don't know what to say and I don't know what to do. We know that there's this like hurdle, and like we get ideas. We're like, oh man, I wish I could create some topic around this, but it gets stopped because we don't know what to do, or we don't have the time to create it. This will take you 1 minute to go in there and say, hey, I know that it would be so great to make a social media post around buyers or sellers are worried about selling their home because of interest rates. Help me create one that helps them overcome that.
Hey,
that fear.
No excuses anymore. There's no excuses anymore.
Yeah.
You can't say, I don't know how to do it. Yes, you do. If you've got this on your phone, you know how to do this. If you can type in some simple information. So anyways, it guided them towards pricing the property. What was interesting is they felt like they listed for just a tad bit higher, and they felt like they were about ready to get an offer at that number at the very bottom, the recommended price that they said 2 weeks ago, which is insane. They were looking at this like, this is crazy. These numbers are so right on to the market. I was like, we got to embrace this to some degree. So watch this. I'm thinking of writing an offer. What should I offer? Guess what it did? It said, okay, offer strategy. Let's talk about market activity. Is it a new listing, or is there multiple offers? You should come in at this. Or if it's been on the market 10 to 30 days, you should come in at this. Or if it's been on the market 30 days or longer, it's going to come in at this. So again, like, embrace it, like, use it. I could see you could use this to get price reductions with sellers. I could see you coming up with a strategy to make offers. Like, again, your expertise is more valuable than this because we're on the street and we know what's going on. But we got to also recognize that I'm sure some of your buyers are probably doing some of this stuff as well. Okay. What do you think about that, Deanna?
Yeah, it's amazing.
So then I went even a step further. I said, can you write it up in a PDF? And then you know what it said? Do you want me to put it on a car purchase agreement? I was like, what? I'd never seen that before. And then it started prompting me, asking me questions to write up this offer. Isn't that insane?
So crazy. Christina said, wow, my head is exploding, but in a great way.
So Deanna, I said, write up on a car contract, and I clicked that PDF. It expired, but it came up. It was pretty close to an offer, which is insane.
Yeah.
We got to embrace this. We got to acknowledge it. We got to know. We can't ignore it. There's no excuses. We cannot ignore it. Again, the agent that embraces AI will not replace. They will replace you if you're not dialed into this and know what's going on to some degree.
Jeff, a few people asked in chat if there is a preferred chat GPT that you use.
I pay the $15 version. I don't know. I've never done one without it. So there is Perplexity, there's Grok, there's all kinds of, like, it's just everybody's now fighting for your attention to some degree. I'm still, it works for me. The information that I'm getting is right on. I'm sure probably 3 or 6 months from now, there'll be something even better, faster, smarter. But right now, I think the ways of, like, making things easier and better, there's going to be companies that are going to be using AI left and right, and we won't even need to adjust. It's just going to make our lives easier and faster. But to me, just I'm an agent like everybody else on this call. This is what I would be doing by just prompting and texting and putting these questions in ChatGPT. But I think you can probably get away with the free version and get enough information as well.
Yeah.
Okay. What do you use, Deanna?
I use the $15 one as well.
Yeah. I haven't seen, like, I'm happy with everything I'm getting.
Yeah.
It's better than me.
Far better than me. Yeah.
Far better than us, right? Okay. So, hey, what is the number one problem for our agents in our industry? Put it in the chat. What do you think the problem is? What's our challenge right now? What is it?
Yeah.
This will be an interesting to see everybody's comments. What's your biggest problem?
Knowledge. Mindset. Not contacting enough people, lack of consistency, a volatile market, communication, keeping up with technology.
Okay, I love that.
Sandra said,
here's what I see is happening. Our number one problem is inconsistent lead generation. Like, we're stopping. It's the real estate roller coaster. It's like, hey, I'm gonna try out sold.com for 90 days and then I'm gonna quit. Or we're all over the place. It's the inconsistency. The true winners in our industry, they just, like I like to say, they're lunch pail agents. They just go to work and they do their job. They make their calls. They do that 5, 2, 3, 2, 1, and then they go out the door and they go on appointments and they have what everybody else is doing. But they're consistently prospecting, generating leads, following up with people. That will make you win over and over again. So what happens? We get scared. We get busy. We do the things. We make the calls. We do the open houses. We do all the things. And then what do we stop doing? We stop doing the things that got us there. And then it's this real estate up and down. I'm rich. I'm poor. I'm busy. I'm not busy. That's what I see over and over again. So to me, these are, again, everybody's going to get these slides. I don't think I'm going to be able to go through all of them. But I mean, you could go in AI and create a perfect schedule for you. So easy. You can create PDFs and checklists. Everybody talks about SOPs and systems. To me, a system is just a checklist that you follow consistently. Some of these questions in there is, do you know who to follow up with every day? Do you have reminders? When was the last time you connected with your top 25 people? Are you having enough conversations? Do they know that you're in real estate? There's some text messages that I created that'll help you out right there as well. But to me, can you explain your unique value proposition in one sentence? Everybody should copy this and throw it in ChatGPT. What sets you apart from the average agent? I see also, I'm starting to see agents, we really need to look at our bios, our email signatures, our profiles, and they got to be the same across all platforms. My profile should be the same on sold.com as it is on my website, as it is on realtor.com, whatever. It needs to be consistent. I've got a client that is crushing it down in Orlando, and he started saying things like #1 agent in this certain area, and he kept repeating it, and it's on all his profiles. Guess what, Deanna? Now when you type in #1 agent in that area, guess whose name comes up?
He does.
His.
Yeah.
Because he changed his profile. He went in AI and made it look as like real world, something that was connected to him, that seemed like him. And he started posting that and changing all of his profiles. And then all of a sudden, he started to get more business from Google and from different ways on ChatGPT even. Okay, because they're noticing what he's doing out there. So I said, I help sellers get blank, buy blank, fill in the blanks. And they're like what we just talked about a minute ago. I help sellers get top dollar by combining market data with high impact storytelling. I help sellers get homes sold fast and smart by aligning strategies with today's marketing results. Whatever that is, think about your unique value proposition. Couple things. I'm going to end on this. I got this from AI. I said, what are the 12 most persuasive words? There they are for you right there. So what do I start doing? I start saying things to ChatGPT. I say, throw that in and create a dialogue. I just said, create a dialogue with those persuasive words for sold.com leads or opportunities. And you're going to start saying, it's smart that you're asking this question. Timing the market is never easy. But here's what I can tell you with confidence. Right now, sellers who act strategically are still seeing strong results, especially in neighborhoods like yours. And if you're not sure what the best next move is, let's set up a quick consultation. No obligation, just a chance for discovery where I can share you real data and options. I guarantee you'll walk away with more clarity and a plan that'll put your results, your priorities first. I love that. That's going to work. But the idea is, I'm taking that information and I'm throwing it into AI and I'm adding it. I'm trying to make it like my own. Okay. So there's no excuse. We need to get better at what we say out there right now. Again, the leads get better when we get better. Here's some persuasive questions that everybody will get. Also, I just started, storytelling is super important in our business. We're great at the stats and the facts and the price per square footage and all that. I just said create a story for agents around a property that sets them apart as the best agent to list with. And then this is, so if you read this, I know it's probably hard to read, but when you start asking, better storylines, better storytelling in the prompts, you're going to get some great results. I think at the very end, it says that's the difference between just listing a property and truly understanding how to market a home. I don't just put it on the MLS. I dig deeper. I build a narrative that resonates, because when buyers connect emotionally, they act fast and pay more. That is the key. So that's what agents are doing around storytelling. Here's another one, the why behind the walls. You know, this isn't just a 2-bedroom, 2-bath bungalow in Venice. This is where the sellers spend sunset walks on Abbott Kinney, raised their first child, and designated their dream kitchen during lockdown. Sorry. We're not just selling square footage. We're selling a lifestyle buyers can see themselves living in. Like, what happens when you do that? It humanizes the value of you as an agent. It creates contrast between what an average agent does and what a strategic storyteller does. It shows results through storytelling, and it builds trust with sellers by making them feel understood. And I think that's it. I'm going to end on winners show up and do the work. Winners know that confidence is a choice, not a feeling, and winners control their energy and their environment. Deanna, that's all I got today. I really appreciate this, everybody. You guys are the best.
Yeah, and I think the things that like you drove home for me that I think are great reminders for everybody are run your business like a business, right? And what does every business need to do? Marketing.
That's it.
Right? You need to do marketing. And you had that slide that talked about consistency in your lead generation. I don't care what it is that you're doing for lead generation. If your lead generation is choosing to knock on doors, then you need to consistently knock on those doors. That's and not that. Because it goes back to that concept of we all are wanting instant gratification. I get it, right? Like we all want that, but that is not the reality. And so when you guys are giving up on whatever type of lead generation that you're doing too quickly, which in reality, you should be doing it for a year, whatever you're going to choose to do, commit to it for a year. If you're going to knock on doors 5 days a week, every Tuesday, whatever it is, you are not going to see that door knocking work until a year. Like I think it's been you where you've shown clients that historically they tried something and they didn't see those results. And then they flashed back a year later and they saw that instantaneous result. And so with Sold.com, everybody on this call is in the Sold.com network. So I like to highlight that again of our home valuation request, 10% go to market within 12 months.
That's
is there
insane.
A chance that you're going to get lucky and somebody's going to go on market the first time you meet with them? Sure. But please do not have that be your expectation and do not have that be your deciding factor on if, whether it be Sold.com or any other company's leads are good. You have to understand that most of them are truly going to take about a year to come into fruition. And it's not just a set it and forget it of call me when you decide to do something. But even better than that is 22% of the people that are requesting cash offers are going on the market and listing with an agent within 12 months.
They want to probably find the details out, but then they're going to choose the other route.
Exactly. It's what did you talk about? It's educating, it's options, it's choices. So many of us, again, and it's mindset. So many of us get turned off because we got a cash offer request and like, they only wanted a cash offer.
Right.
Why would anybody go with a cash offer over listing their house traditionally unless their home was in shambles, right? Because in reality, they get about, on a good day with a cash offer company, they're getting 80% to fair market value. And then there's still fees on top of that. That's the offer is 80%, but then there's still 7 to 10% in additional fees. So the money that they actually get in hand, in pocket, and bank account is not 80%. So you have to ask yourself, like, why would anybody go with a cash offer unless they are in an urgent, dire need to sell their property or their property just isn't marketable, which there are some of those houses that exist out there. So it is your job to provide choices, options, education to them to help them understand what's the best choice for them. I understand a cash offer sounds amazing. Let me talk you through some choices and options, and we can see what is going to be the best route for you to go on. Now, as we talk about sold.com stuff, consistency. If you guys are not consistent with your sold.com stuff, I wrote down the 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. If you guys are not, and I'm going to share Jeff's slides so that you guys can have that 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 process. If you are not doing those things today, that is why your leads aren't converting.
Mm-hmm.
That is ultimately the response, right? Am I saying that every lead that you're going to get from sold.com or any other lead company is gold? Absolutely not. It's online. There's still going to be the not so great things in there. But if you commit, let's say I commit to a year of 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And again, I'll get Jeff's slides out so that you know what that means. But you do those things and you say, I'm going to commit to that for a year. Every single person on this call will see success with the leads that they're working. Like that is there is no way that you won't, because these people are selling their house. They're just not selling them with you in many cases. So now it's about what are you going to do? What is your consistent lead generation that you're going to commit to for the next 12 months? Right now is a great time. It's spring. It's going into summer. Like right now is the time to get in front of people and build your pipeline over this next couple of months so that you can have that consistency and stop the roller coaster. Because really what you do when you buy leads is think about this first 12 months is going to be my build time. My next 12 months is going to be seeing everything come into fruition that I've been working on over this last 10 to 12 months. And now you can predictively know, like
that's right.
The top agents that I work with know every single, like I already have agents that I talk to that know for 2026 how many listings they have going into 2026. Like you want to create a predictive pipeline that tells you what you're going to do. And that is ultimately the thing that will make you successful, is creating a predictive pipeline with that.
They're giving up too soon, aren't they, Deanna?
100%. That's all that it is. If you like, I've said this a lot throughout my career. It's like, if I could shake people and just say, please do these things and you will be successful. Like everybody will. It's not rocket science as to why, like when you hear a top agent within the country talking, I can guarantee that you're not doing those things, right? There's not like, they didn't accidentally fall into that. Like the way that they work is next level. They use things like AI. They have teams, they have infrastructure, but the key thing is they work their butt off. Does it suck to have to work harder and make the same amount of money? Of course it does, but it is what it is. Do you want to be successful in real estate or not?
That's right.
And that's ultimately the question that you have to ask yourself. And if the answer
how bad
yes,
do you want it?
Yeah, how bad do you want it? And if the answer is yes, then you just have to do it. Is it going to be like this forever? No, right? Did we know that the 2020s were going to happen, where those few years, like you could literally get a deal from anywhere? Didn't matter if you got your license 10 seconds ago. Those worlds and those cycles will happen again. We're not in that cycle today. We are in you got to work your butt off and you've got to work a little bit harder than you've been used to, and have consistency and stop wanting the instant gratification. You can want it, but know that it's not there. That's so right. We're sold.com. If you are not sponsoring zip codes, it's something to consider. I was just telling Jeff about this prior to our call starting, was you guys should track, if you guys are doing lead generation, what your average cost per lead is. What does it cost you overall once you convert somebody to get that lead, and what was the overall cost? Doesn't matter if you spent $3,000 a month for that person or if you spent $200 a month. Overall, what was that breakdown of that cost per lead? If you don't know the answer, go to ChatGPT and write all the information.
It'll tell you.
It'll tell you your cost per lead. An average cost per lead in this industry can range, but you have companies like Zillow or homes.com or realtor.com where they're $250 plus cost per lead, and you're spending $3,000 to $5,000 a month on advertising for buyers. Am I saying buyers are bad? No, but if I was in your shoes, sellers would definitely be the boat that I was going into.
That's right. We got to list first.
A listing, and 80% of listings also are buyers, so you double dip anyway. This average agent is an $8, or excuse me, not the average agent. This average lead for sold.com is an $8 cost per lead. If you need to understand what that means and how low that is, ask ChatGPT. But who else has an $8 cost per lead on average? So if you guys are wanting to position yourself to get more listing opportunities, what you want to do is you want to take advantage of sponsoring zip codes. And all that does for you, and I shouldn't say all because it does a lot of things for you, is Sold.com is setting up appointments. So that is number one, huge, because if you're struggling with appointments, then outsource it. I don't care how you do it, but if Sold.com is going to do it for you, take it. Two is we will, for non-appointment leads, if you are the agent who is sponsoring that zip code, we are going to give you all of the non-appointment leads. So everybody our concierge team doesn't make contact with, you're going to get in your queue and you can start to work them, build AI campaigns around them, find scripts, learn how to overcome objections. But we will waive referral fees for anybody who's a non-appointment lead that we send you when you're the zip code sponsor. And then from a pricing perspective, the average zip code cost is $60 per zip code is what that cost breaks down to. And that is what you're, again, paying per zip code for getting into those areas. If we're, again, comparing it to other companies, I don't know any other company
that's a bargain.
Get leads at that price, let alone sellers, appointments, and an average out at an average of an $8 cost per lead. My other biggest ask to you is, I don't care, again, where you advertise, commit to it for a year. Make sure that you not just I signed a year contract, right? But commit and have consistency in how you work these leads. Stop just setting it and forgetting it. Work these leads. Use literally everybody, when you guys get these slides, should print that 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, put it on a whiteboard, whatever it is, and work every lead just like that. And I promise you that every single person will see success if you consistently do that and work those leads, and then shift your mindset. 90% of the leads that you get are not going to be ready to do something right now. 90%, but 10% will, right? Get that is a lot of people. 10 out of every 100 people will be listing their property. And like I said, it's just a matter of if it's
Deanna, like I said, you're gonna hear no, 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 yes, no, 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 yes.
Yes.
Okay, that's pretty strong odds.
That's huge. Yeah, that's a huge opportunity there. So this promo does expire tomorrow. So if you guys want to take advantage of that, you can do it in a few different ways. I popped up a promo. You can click on that. It'll take you to a form. Our team will call you back. You can scan the QR code. But if you are not sponsoring zip codes today, then you need to be advertising somewhere. If right now, as part of your business, you are not advertising or doing, I should say, put it this way, if you are not lead generating, that is why your business is struggling. You need to do something. I would personally rather pay for lead generation than knock on doors, because depending upon where you live, summer, winter, that time is money to me. But to each their own, but you need to do something. You need to invest in something. If you're a new agent, you've got to do something to get your feet off the ground. Sphere of influence is great, but in my opinion, your sphere of influence is what's going to keep, is the icing on your cake. But you need to constantly be bringing more people in. And like Jeff said,
that's just one pillar of the business, right?
Exactly. Yeah, because I think you've talked about that before. Generally, how many pillars should every agent have, Jeff?
They should have 4 to 6 pillars.
Yep. Yeah, it's constantly keeping every agent that I've ever spoken to, and when we've done panelists is, and they are great at lead generation, the consumer has told them, I saw you everywhere. That's what you want to be, right? Perception is reality. So you want to be that person who, and I'm going to forget your name, but somebody in our chat said that they Googled, show me the top 3 agents in my area. I'm sorry. They used ChatGPT to say, show me the top 3 agents in my area. And he came up as one of the top 3 agents. So you want to be the person they see on ChatGPT, on Google, on Sold.com, on Zillow, on Realtor, literally everywhere. That is the key to success. Jeff, this content has been amazing. I think you helped people really understand that, with ChatGPT or any of these AI tools, we are all literally unstoppable. There's no more walls. There's no more, I don't know what to say. If you ever feel that way, you're not using AI the way that you should, because everybody should be able to go and have ChatGPT tell them what they should say in any scenario.
I love it. It's right. No excuses.
Jeff, before I let everybody go, anything else that you have to add on?
I just think, again, just consistency is the key for everything you just talked about and everything I went through. It's about building future business, and we just got to be consistent is really, really where I see the failings in our business right now. So stay consistent, stay positive, stay upbeat. It's going to change. It's going to win, and you're going to win.
Yeah, 100%. Thank you guys, everybody, for joining the call. I know we'll have Jeff on another time this year. Jeff, I appreciate your time and good
Really
luck.
appreciate it, guys. Thank y'all.
Thank you.
Thanks,
Bye.
Deanna. Bye-bye.